Hi,
Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Happy, what day is it?
It's a weekday, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I talk to so many people, and of course, the joke is they don't know what day it is anymore. So, happy day to you.
Yeah, you too. Are
So
you?
good to
Are
spend some time
you?
with you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for your time. I'm just going to introduce to anybody who might be watching. This is Stephen O'Connor. He's the owner and CEO of O Designs Productions and Consulting.
Yeah,
And O Designs is one of the companies that I've selected as a strategic partner for virtual events. And what I was so impressed about talking to you is how you really do a full production for virtual events, like
right.
you would for a live event. I think that's different from what a lot of companies are doing these days.
Yeah, thank you. It's an interesting time. We all know that, and when it comes to actually getting the logistics together or putting an event together, whether we specialize in the AV realm or, of course, the virtual meeting realm, it's just the process and the steps and the logistics and ensuring there's absolute details in everything you do. Of course, we all know that just helps provide a very successful event. But yeah, it's interesting times and
Yeah,
kind of when you go from the live world to the virtual world, it's the maybe the same idea, the same mindset rather, but it's definitely a different approach, and there's limitations to both. So it's quite interesting.
definitely.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about you and your background and the history of your company, and like tell me about your team and what you do?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'll try to keep it brief because I could go on for hours. I'm pretty proud of it. But my background basically is I didn't come from the AV world about 20 years ago. I used to be a Hollywood video producer. I used to work for the Walt Disney Company, worked with some other companies. So I had a different mindset when I came into AV. But I started as a director of in-house at the Sheraton Denver downtown.
Okay.
But what that means is I started looking at AV. What does AV mean? And what is its abilities and what is its limitations and how does it work within the hotel environment.
Okay.
And quite honestly, I started learning really quickly. Not everybody's a fan of AV, and there's a lot of frustrations, right? And there's a lot of limitations. And again, there's great friction when it comes to AV and meeting planners and meeting professionals. And over time, my last position before starting No Design Productions and Consulting, I used to be work for a large AV company out of California. We worked with large companies like Coca-Cola, Nike, Verizon, and other companies. All that means is I've seen it all. I've seen it big, I've seen it small, I've seen it in-house, I've seen it externally, and I just started realizing over the years it's a broken process. It doesn't work very well. And again, usually the person that's holding the bag is the meeting planner or the meeting professional.
Yeah.
And it's great. There's great frustrations in the process. So ODesign is a solution to the challenges that meeting planners or meeting professionals have when they experience AV. We take on full accountability and full responsibility for the entire dynamic of the event, all the way from the venue contract through building the RFP to going out to bid to fully managing and executing the event on site. And we have great success in doing that. But again, we're the solution to all the challenges and frustration people are facing out there.
That's great. And you're doing
Yeah.
events, when you do live events, that's nationwide.
When we do live events, it's nationwide. We go up to Canada, Mexico, Europe,
Wow.
wherever our clients go, we go. So
Got it.
again, we're not a Navy company. We are the planning source and execution behind an event. So
I see.
we work with and choose and find the best vendors to meet and exceed our clients'
Got it.
expectations.
So
Yeah.
you're managing that AV process and production for a client.
Yes,
Got it.
exactly. The entire process. And it's
Okay.
very, very deep. And there's many different departments that it takes to put something like that together. But yes, we find and seek and work with, I have great relationships with a lot of AV and technology companies throughout the country. But yes, we only work with those that we trust, and they oversee the expectations, but we manage the entire event. And most of the work that they do, we actually do for them.
Got it. I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me about your virtual event production. I know that you
Mm.
do full production, and can you explain the scope of that and how that's different from what other companies are doing?
Oh yeah, and you know, again, where ODesign approaches every event, every client, it's truly about the relationship and our partnership with them. We don't approach it as selling a platform or selling a service. We approach it as a source for help and assistance, and that really comes in the virtual world. as we all know, the virtual world, there's virtual meetings, digital meetings, webcasts, webinars, whatever you want to call it. Virtual meetings is kind of the umbrella, if you will. It's obviously very popular now than ever before.
Sure.
So what was needed 2, 3, 4 months ago is far different than what's needed now. So what we try to do with our clients is share with them that the platform is available. It's like going onto a car lot. You can choose the right vehicle for the right purpose. And there's a lot of beautiful platforms that we have relationships with. And we have what's called a 4 different tier approach. Not every vehicle matches every budget, every expectation, every hope and desire. So we really do what's called a discovery stage, where we talk with the client. What are your expectations? What are you hoping to do? What is your budget? What is the attendee's experience? And then we do, again, during the discovery stage, we really start asking a lot of questions. We start opening up conversation, and we really start understanding what is the expectation, what is the ability, what are the limitations in what you're trying to do. And then again, we provide the platform for them, again, based off that scenario. And a lot of times, believe it or not, we have a few clients that have already chosen a platform. But again, when you buy a platform, it's your responsibility to do the entire event on your own. And we have clients that are saying there is no way we can handle the great demand. And quite honestly, we don't even know where to start. So we do 2 things. We provide the platform and the full production management, or we provide the production management. But again, there's a lot of good platforms out there, but it really depends on what are the hopes and the desires and abilities of the client, and what's the best fit.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you. I think a lot of people are starting with the question, which platform should we choose? And then we'll figure everything else out.
Yeah.
And I think that, first you have to start with, what do you want this to look like? What do we need from the event? And then figure out, how do we achieve that?
Right.
And so I like that you work with a variety of platforms, and you probably have more experience with a variety of them than, somebody who's just working with one platform exclusively, like some companies.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Again, that's whenever a new client comes to us. Again, we go through the discovery stage. We do a lot of research and time with them before we give them a proposal, because in the virtual meeting realm, when you buy that platform, you own it. There's no return. There's no trial period. It is yours, and you can't return it. Therefore, the great demand and expectation is on you. And it is intense, depending on if it's live, if it's pre-recorded. How do you get the presenters ready to go? What do they need to know? The exhibitors, the sponsors. It gets incredibly intense. And of course, you're responsible, not only the pre-work that needs to be done before the event, pre-event, but of course, the live event. You're responsible for everything. So the dynamics are pretty intense. The best way I describe it is if somebody just gave you, or you inherited your own radio network, or broadband ability, or a news station. It's there, the platform's there, but how do you fill in every single minute? What do you see? What do you hear? And how are you engaged? And you are responsible for making sure everything goes very well and it's queued up and ready to go. So that's an eye opener when they realize, okay, I'm entirely responsible for the content and the fluidity of the content, and then things start getting a little overwhelming. So
in my first conversation with you, you mentioned some of the detail things that you would do, that you do for a virtual event, like an interstitial logo in between speakers, queuing up a speaker, and avoiding all of that. Hey, wait a minute, where's Joe? I don't see him. The next person. And can you pull up your screen? I can't see your screen. How do we do this? You managed to kind of do all that behind the scenes. And I think you said you even queue up the speakers to make sure they're ready and you see their streams, so that you're really producing, like a television show, what goes out to the attendee.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. So again, depending on the tier, it's pretty complicated in nature. But yeah, to your point, depending on which platform we use, it literally is a minute to minute, second to second, what is seen, what is heard, and what is being presented. So for example, if presenters come in early, what we call our tier 1 is true, kind of a Zoom platform. It's a live platform. It's a one channel, a one room. You go into it and you're there the entire duration. But what do people walk into? Do they see a looping sponsor video? Do they hear a sponsor talking about their product? And then once that's over, what do you transition into? Do you transition into somebody live on camera? Do you transition into a presentation that's pre-recorded? And how long does that last? And is it 50 minutes, 60 minutes, 70 minutes? Does
Right.
it end right on time? Is there a Q&A? Is a Q&A live? Is it pre-recorded? And then once that's done, what do people see? So there is a switching ability and a pre-production thought process
Yeah.
on how is this going to flow. And I know I keep saying that, but
Yeah.
if you really think about filling in, for example, the 10 o'clock news, if you think about filling in 30 minutes of material, is everybody ready? Has their equipment, their internet, their microphone, their camera, has it all been tested? Are they ready to go? Are they perfectly timed? What if they make a mistake? What if they, again, to your point, what if they're clicking through on their computer and you see the desktop on their computer,
Right.
or you see some documents they forgot to close, or we all know somebody walks in behind you, like the door behind you might just open and somebody might just come in if it's a live setting, and the dynamics of that soon become overwhelming. Oh no, by the way, you have 100 to 3,000 attendees that have questions, problems, challenges. They're involved, and again, how do you engage and take care of something like that while making it successful? So
Yeah.
there you go. That's part of what we start talking about is
Yeah.
how are we going to do this? Real quickly, I think you know, and I think everybody knows, everybody's okay with the quality being reduced. It's not incredibly high level quality, if you will.
Of the image, you're
Like,
saying.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So if you watch any network for any reason, of course, there's high quality there.
Right.
Everybody's used to clicking through or maybe looking for the camera or adjusting their microphone or adjust. Everybody's kind of used to that. But there comes a point where people have flexibility in just waiting for everybody to get situated. But if that occurs throughout the entire day for 3 days, people start getting a little tired, if you will, by that. And again, they only allow for so many freedoms of mistakes before they start questioning the quality of what they're experiencing, and especially if they're paying to be a part of it. So some
Right.
thoughts there.
Okay. Now, if an organization was using a lot of pre-recorded content, I spoke to one client who was doing, I think I mentioned it to you, 80 or 100
Yeah.
pre-recorded sessions that they were going to
Mhm.
make available, and
Mhm.
then they were going to have a keynote. So would you coordinate with all of the presenters who were going to pre-record their
Right.
content to get it in the right format and get it to you with a certain amount of a level of quality for video and audio?
Right.
Would
Yeah,
you
that's
do that?
part of our discovery stage, and we build a production schedule. Again, there's not a lot of companies out there that do what we do. Again, when you get the platform, you're responsible for everything. Well, we actually build a production schedule because the platform obviously needs to match the schedule you're going to build. But we also do, again, part of the discovery is how many presenters, where are they, what do they know, what's their operating software, what is their internet, what is their recording abilities. Yeah, to your point, O-Design is responsible for assisting them, helping them, making sure everything goes very well, and the final product
Yeah.
is exactly what they wanted, but also fits in the time slot that's allowed to them. And believe it or not, we were just on a call with a client just a moment ago. Their presenters are incredibly brilliant in their material, but when it comes to the technical aspect,
Right.
they have a hard enough time walking in the door and plugging in their presentation. So we never assume that presenters know their internet, they know their capacity, they know the limitations of what they're doing and how to record and how to set up a background, how to set up an appearance, their makeup, their jewelry, whatever it is. Believe it or not, presenters start getting really lost and they're still responsible on the technical aspect. So yes, our job is to reach out to them, guide them, help them, be a source of information
Great.
through the pre-production, and of course, being on site if they have any live Q&As, whatever. But yeah,
That's great.
that's part of the hand-holding and the dedication in a great event is really taking care of those that are involved, but really knowing the potential of problems and challenges ahead of time and dissolving those before the live event. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
got it. Well, I think that really helped give me and anybody who's watching, an overview of what you do
Mhm.
and how you help people navigate through this process who are probably going through it for the first time,
Right.
creating a virtual event, especially a complicated one or
Mhm.
one that needs to be polished. So I'm really happy that, we're able to work with you and, I look forward to doing some projects together.
No, absolutely. We're thrilled to be here. And again, as part of what you do is exactly what we do. We're here to help. We're here to educate the best we can. We're here to share our knowledge. We're here to guide. Our time is always complimentary. We just want to be a great source, just like you are.
Yeah.
And we love the flow that you present for your clients. But a couple things to leave with. A lot of people ask me, what do I need to be thinking about? And let me just share that with you to conclude our time together. But really kind of think through the true dynamics of your presentation. Can it be pre-recorded? Does it and must it be live? And then really think through what's the sponsorship opportunities, because those sponsorship opportunities are really going to help sell and help you afford the virtual meeting realm. Just know that it's very popular right now, but also think through timing. Does it have to be 3 days? Can it be 2 days? Monday through Friday is better than the weekends, believe it or not. And then really kind of think through, what's the true hopes and the true expectations. But what we're finding from all that is clients just want their attendees to be educated, to be engaged, and to know there is always a consistent movement in trying to involve them in trying to bring people together. So a couple things to think about as you kind of start approaching the virtual meeting realm. And of course, when it comes to the live world with AV, of course, we take on the full responsibilities of audiovisual. So when those events start coming into play, we can assist you there as well.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And there will be more overlap, I think, now that everybody's
Yeah.
into virtual, everybody's familiar with it. I
Mhm.
think in 6 months, there could be more overlap of virtual and live. So it's
Yeah, and with that,
both sides of it.
yeah, you're absolutely right. And that is a really interesting place right now. Again, everybody's watching. Do I just wait? Do I engage in virtual
Right.
meeting, or to your point, hybrid? And we do both, but yeah, can I do both? For those that can attend, we got it, but we do have set rooms for a virtual or a webcast realm where people can engage differently. We're finding hybrids are very popular right now, probably at least through the end of the year. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank
Okay.
you so much for your time. I really appreciate you talking with me, and hope we can do some projects together soon.
Absolutely. Excited
All
to
right.
be here. Thank you. Take
All right. Have
care.
a good day. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.